Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. UFC Freedom 250 is almost here, and this is the matchup that I'm most looking for. And because, yes, it's not the main event, but I do think it's extremely hard to imagine a win from Justin Gaethje. Let's just be honest about it. But on the other hand, this is more of an even matchup, and Alex Pereira, yes, he is looking to make history. Yes, he's looking to get his third belt. But stylistically, Ciryl Gane is going to be a really, really hard matchup for Alex Pereira on the feet. I'm not saying Alex Pereira can't win, but he is going to have his hands full with Ciryl Gane. Everyone keeps talking about Ciryl Gane is going to be much faster than Alex Pereira, and Alex is also looking slower in his some of his sparring footages that he has released, and everyone is already counting him out. But it's really hard to say for sure if it's gonna be the case because we don't know what the sparring conditions is like. We don't know what round it was when Alex Pereira sparring Talison Teixeira or like Robeles when he was doing it. So we are not gonna be talking too much about the speed difference or the movement difference between. Yes, Ciryl Gane moves a lot more. He's gonna be more faster, and in this video we're just gonna be doing more of a technical breakdown and see what Ciryl Gane does. That's gonna be annoying for Pereira probably, and also where Alex Pereira might find some chances. As I said, we are not going to be talking about the speed and the movement, but we will be talking about the other obvious thing, which is the jab from Ciryl Gane. Fights predominantly from southpaw for some reason. I don't know why. He does likes to switch, but in the last few fights, he has been like almost exclusively just fighting from southpaw. But his jab is really, really good. He's, I think he is like top three of Alex Pereira's opponent with a really, really good jab. Alex Pereira has faced Sean Strickland who has really good jab, and also Ankalaev, who also does pretty good with his boxing. And I do think Ciryl Gane is going to be one of those opponents for Alex Pereira. And he does it in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes he keeps his hands low, so the jab is coming from down, which is hard to see at times. Sometimes he will be hand fighting and then he will bring this hand down of his opponent and throw the jab. Sometimes he just throws the jab. But here he is having his hands low, and as Tuivasa is trying to pressure Ciryl Gane, he goes inside foot with his jab. And this is also something that Alex Pereira does. Alex Pereira also, when it's an open stance matchup, he also likes to go inside his opponent's foot to throw the jab, be it for the body, be it for the head. Ciryl Gane also does a lot of these things, but unfortunately, he's a chiseled monster for heavyweight and not someone who is like bringing a bunch of blob to heavyweight. I think people are also like over exaggerating how fat Alex Pereira is looking. I don't think he is looking as fat as Jones did, but he is bringing in a bunch of I would say unnecessary fat, unlike Ciryl Gane, and which is gonna obviously make him a little bit slower. But he does this jab with, Ciryl Gane throws the jab from a lot of different ways. As I said, he keeps his hand sometimes low, sometimes he's like fights, or should I say, hand fights, and then throws the jab. But in this fight against Tuivasa, he was also showing something else, which is like because of the movement from Ciryl Gane, it also hides when he's gonna be throwing this jab. For instance, here, like most of Gane's opponents, Tuivasa also likes to go forward, pressure him, remove some space, because that's how you want to fight Ciryl Gane. You don't want to give him space where he's just freely moving around and he can throw his kicks, he can throw his punches and stuff. So Tuivasa is trying to go forward. So what does Ciryl Gane do? He's doing a lot of movement here and there, going left, right, and then he goes back. He's pulling back, attracting Tuivasa to come forward. And as Tuivasa is like goes forward, he puts all the weight on his back leg and then springs forward with a nasty fast jab to Tuivasa. Hits him clean, hits him in the nose. And this are stuff that is really gonna be annoying for Alex Pereira, who has never really dealt well with the jab. Alex Pereira doesn't really do that much well when his opponents like. I'm not saying he doesn't do well as in the outcome of the fight, but he eats a lot of these punches, man. And the only good thing about this jab is that Ciryl Gane doesn't really have a lot of power. It's not like an Alex Pereira jab, for example, like when Alex Pereira landed the jab against Khalil Roundtree and just stung him really bad, and that's what started the sequence in the third round of the finishing sequence. So this is the only good thing about the jab. And Alex Pereira, he does fight hand, but again, does it's hard to say it because it can be frustrating. For if you remember the Adesanya first fight, and Adesanya was trying to do a lot of hand fighting when Alex Pereira is going forward. Alex Pereira was simply bringing his backhand, grabbing this hand and then just pulling it away. That can be good. Like in Sean Strickland also does some of these things and then tries to punch or like do a front teep and stuff. But I don't think Alex Pereira does it as well as he should be doing. Or it's not like I have super confidence that he's staying safe doing that type of stuff. So the jab is going to be something that I don't know how he's going to be dealing with this. I don't know if he's going to be hand fighting. I don't know if he's going to like doing a lot of head movement and then trying to go for the body and then coming up for head type of stuff. Or he will just like, you can jab me as much as you want. I'm just going to walk forward and then make it uncomfortable for you. So this is something that we do have to see how Alex Pereira is going to be dealing with the jab. The next thing are the kicks from Ciryl Gane. Extremely dexterous for a heavyweight, man. Goes to the body really well, goes to the head really well. He's extremely fast with it. And again, to deal with this, you do have to go forward. Like you cannot be like giving space to Ciryl Gane if you don't want to be getting kicked. And Alex Pereira doesn't really like defend kicks to the body that well, in my opinion. Not saying kicks in general. I don't think he like defense strikes to his body that well. And some against some opponents, maybe they gonna be like extremely scared of the left hook and don't really want to risk going to the body. But I do think because Ciryl Gane is longer than Alex, I think he's gonna be throwing a lot of body kicks and like going to the body with jabs. And he throws a lot of kicks. He throws back leg roundhouse kicks. He will throw front teeps with his front kicks. He throws like some type of crescent kicks where he will not go directly to the gut, like on this side, which is what Alex Pereira most likely gonna. Alex Pereira does have his body a little bit more like bladed, so he might just go with the front teep, but most of the time, I don't think he's gonna be like bringing his leg in this direction in a curve and then like stinging it into the solar plexus of Alex Pereira with the ball of the foot. And I don't think Alex Pereira is gonna be having to deal with these type of kicks. And if you remember the first Ankalaev fight, I think he kicked him like with like a front deep and then just like stumbled Alex Pereira as he was going to uh, throw a leg kick, I think. But yes, Ciryl Gane does do a bunch of front deeps, roundhouse kicks to the body, to the head, and obviously Alex Pereira. I do think he's gonna be like going aggressively forward. I don't know how aggressively he's gonna be doing that. If it's gonna be like the Uncle I have second fight, or if it's gonna be like more of a Adesanya first fight type thing where he is forward, but it's not like he's just throwing caution to the wind. Because you absolutely cannot give space to Ciryl Gane because he can do this for 5 rounds. And I think some people were talking about that Ciryl Gane doesn't have like 5 round cardio. I don't know why they think that. I've never seen Ciryl Gane gassed. I don't know why they are thinking that Ciryl Gane doesn't have cardio. I think he can absolutely do it for 5 rounds. He will throw a lot of volume in this 5 rounds and he's gonna be like not gassing out. And if he can keep poking Alex on his body with his kicks, it's gonna eventually open like the head kicks, and that's gonna be a problem because Roundtree almost head kicked him. So he does have to be like careful with it. Now, this is something a lot of people are not talking about Ciryl Gane, and that is he punishes his opponents when they are like out of position. If you go back and watch a lot of like Ciryl Gane, I mean like other than the first fight or the second fight, when Alex Pereira, Jack Slack talks about it, that Alex Pereira throws like a non-telegraphed leg kicks, but it's not like a non-powerful leg kick. So when he misses, he does put a lot of power into his kicks that he gets really out of position. And then he has to like come back to his stance, and that gives a lot of opportunity to take advantage of. And if you go back and watch the Ankalaev first fight, Ankalaev did so well punishing that behavior. Like every time Alex Pereira missed a leg kick, he was throwing a lot of the lead leg, the step up kick, and every time he missed, Ankalaev immediately threw a combo and just pushed him all the way to the fence. And Ciryl Gane also does punish his opponents when they miss bad. He is quite bladed, like he does. He's basically in karate stance, so his legs are there to be kicked. But because he's so fast, he can bring his leg back up and make you miss. And if you do that, Ciryl Gane will pounce on you, trying to punish it. Um, in the Tuivasa fight, he did a bunch of things. So here, he simply took his lead leg backward. Tuivasa completely missed it by a mile. Was completely out of position. Look at him on one leg. On one leg, cannot really like get into a better position immediately. Ciryl Gane sees it, goes for a jab, but he was a little bit it was quick enough to punish it. So Tuivasa was managed to like fall back. But the next time it happened, immediately started going for leg kicks and body kicks. And if I'm Ciryl Gane, if I see Alex Pereira like missing his leg kicks, punish him because that's gonna be your that's going to be one of the opportunity for you to push Alex Pereira backwards and relieve some of his pressure. And I do think this is something that Alex Pereira has to be careful with, that he's not, like, again, not eating a lot of body kicks from being out of position, and also like head kicks and stuff. Another really big thing a lot of people are like absolutely for some reason not remembering is that they really believe this is going to be a completely stand up fight. It can be a stand up fight, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Because Ciryl Gane, his offensive wrestling is not too bad, man, for heavyweight. I don't know why people. Yes, his grappling defense is like god awful, and his wrestling takedown defense is not too bad. But his grappling defense once the fight hits the ground is absolutely god awful, and I think he's probably worse than Justin Gage when it comes to that. But his offensive takedowns not too bad. It's not like a Dustin Poirier type of thing where he goes forward and then like properly sets up wrestling, but he will, like, if you're like over swinging, if he senses that you're gonna be like throwing with everything on your punches or something, he will immediately duck down to your hips. And we have seen it multiple times. And I have the Ngannou fight here. So Ngannou is obviously going forward, trying to keep Ciryl Gane to the fence, then hopefully finding the shot to the chin. But Ciryl Gane almost does like another Sanya thing, where when he's against the fence, just like squares up, trying to move forward. And this might be something that's bad potentially when doing it against Alex Pereira, because he might throw a bunch of things. But the the thing is, he does this. I know. Okay, when I said that, I know he got knocked out by Adesanya because Adesanya did the same thing, but it's a bit different thing. When the Adesanya 2 knockout happened, Alex Pereira thought he was completely like hurt and he's not going to be fighting back. That's why he just like completely threw caution to the wind and just like had his hands down fully, not worrying about Adesanya might strike back. But here, if he had not hurt Ciryl Gane, I think he's gonna be more careful. But so he's gonna have opportunities to come up with some shots and hurt Ciryl Gane really bad. But what Ciryl Gane, when he is getting really pressured, is that he will duck down immediately. Sometimes he will shoot completely, sometimes he will just duck down. It's not like a. And this also gives an opportunity for Alex Pereira, because you can come up with knees and like uppercuts and stuff. But you do have to be careful that you are not like missing the knee and then getting taken down by Ciryl Gane, because now you have a 250-pound man on top of you, on in addition to your own weight, and that's gonna be a problem. Like if he ends up like in a Jan Blachowicz first round type of situation where Ciryl Gane is on top of you for one whole round, and then you're not going to be as effective afterwards. So he does have to be careful. And Ciryl Gane, there, I'm just saying there is opportunity to find your shot when Ciryl Gane does duck it, but you better read it properly and then time it properly. So what happens here? Shoots on Ngannou. It's quite fast for a heavyweight. He is not. He doesn't take down Ngannou, but he was able to like go from one end of the octagon all the way to the other end of the octagon. And another impressive thing about this is that he held Francis Ngannou here. He had, he was properly finding his head position. He was like having his underhooks, and he was holding Ngannou here, and then he escaped. He left this position on his own volition, And that is something extremely impressive to be doing against a physical monster like Francis Ngannou. Because Alex Pereira is not going to be as physically strong as a Francis Ngannou. And he did it multiple times in the fight, and was able to like hold Francis Ngannou against the cage, finding the underhooks properly, reversing Francis Ngannou when Francis Ngannou had Ciryl Gane against the cage. And these are really extremely impressive stuff to be doing to Francis Ngannou. I also have another sequence, so which shows how good his offensive wrestling is. So Ciryl Gane has been jabbing a lot, obviously, against Francis Ngannou, and then feints a jab, which makes Francis Ngannou to throw a left hook. And this was not a jab from Ciryl Gane, but actually a setup to shoot a single leg. So he ducks under Francis Ngannou's left leg, and look how deep is Ciryl Gane in this position. Gets to the single leg so deep with this. I was watching the GSP and Demetrius Johnson vlog, and how GSP was talking about he always gets like elbow deep on his double legs, and look at him, he is elbow deep on his single leg, cuts cuts an angle on Francis Ngannou, runs the pipe, and then takes him down. Extremely impressive stuff. Offensive wrestling wise, I think Ciryl Gane is not terrible, and he is like really good. Where Alex Pereira needs to consider this as a weapon that Ciryl Gane will be using it. And Ciryl Gane also has talked about it that it's not gonna be a kickboxing fight. It's gonna be a mixed martial arts fight. So I do think he is like planning to take down Alex Pereira. So Alex Pereira has to be careful that he's not overswinging his left hooks or like overswinging his right hand. Almost the same thing happened also against in the World Cup 2 fight. Um, so as I said, he ducks directly down when he's getting like overtly pressured, and I don't think he was planning to take down Volkov or like shoot on Volkov here. I think Volkov just overswung his right hand and he was too close to Ciryl Gane, and Gane's instinct kicked in, where he was able to where he realized, I'm like far closer than I thought. So he converted that into like a takedown, where he gets the hand under uh, behind his Volkov's thighs, and then was able to secure the other hand also behind Volkov's thighs, pick him up, and then take him down. So these are stuff that absolutely Alex Pereira has to be careful about, and also the other thing is that Ciryl Gane will cheat. He will grab the cage. He will hit you back in the back of the head. He might throw something like a grounded strike on you on Alex Pereira. This has to be like thought about. But on the other hand, something that's good for Alex Pereira is that his fight IQ is terrible, man. Ciryl Gane's fight IQ is absolutely god awful. You see him striking, and then you think, this guy is so good. He's like setting his shots like so well. And then he will face against the John Jones, and where he throws a fat overhand, which gets him completely out of position and allows John Jones to take him immediately. He will eye poke Aspinall on his third title shot and ruins his own like results where he could have been, where he was winning the first round against Tom Aspinall. So as long as he's like doing the point karate type of stuff, his fight IQ is really good. As soon as the fight becomes like a grappling sequence where Ciryl Gane is on top of you, or it's just like a finishing sequence against the cage, instant lobotomy. Instant lobotomy. His IQ drops by like 100 points. And this is a sequence from the Volkov 2 fight. Look at him. He takes him down, postures up so much and so close to Volkov that Volkov was able to get his hands on both of Gane's leg, kick him with his leg. I mean, like not kick him on the chest, but Volkov's legs were on around Gane's hip, and he was basically like pushing his hips forward, which gets while pulling both of the legs, and Ciryl Gane falls down and was only saved by him cheating. He will think like he is Charles Oliveira or Habib when he gets on top of his opponents, and will try to like look at this. This is basically the position he had when Volkov almost swept him. But this is what this happened again after that sequence. Bro thinks he's Habib, man. Like he's trying to posture up, rain down punches, like is Habib. But he is also dumb because he also thinks he is on top of being Habib. He is also Charles Oliveira, and then falls to a leg hook, like a leg lock. Does not secure the legs properly. Volkov's leg is still inside Gane's leg, and Volkov was able to like escape out of it and get on top of Ciryl Gane. He didn't manage to do something significant from here. Like I mean, Volkov didn't really like do any damage from here. Ciryl Gane was able to get out of it. But again, this is terrible fight IQ from Ciryl Gane because he really likes the leg locks, the heel hooks, the knee bars and stuff. Maybe he's getting it while sparring and stuff in his gym, so that's why he's like so confident and is jumping on his opponent's legs, but he has never been able to properly do it. I know he has like a bunch of submissions in his in the first fights, but this is like terrible fight IQ, man. And if you remember, he did the same thing against Francis Ngannou. Look at the position, and this basically cost him the fight. I did think Ciryl Gane won either way, but imagine how concrete the result would have been if he just stayed here and was trying to ground and pound Ngannou. This is a gassed out Francis Ngannou. If you're gonna find success on top of him, this is the time to do it. But obviously, that's not what Ciryl Gane does. He goes for the leg lock, and Francis Ngannou was like never in any danger. Actually, he never had a proper position to get the leg lock on Francis Ngannou, and then Francis Ngannou gets on top of him, and then yeah, basically gets the victory from the judges. The other stuff that Ciryl Gane absolutely sucks at is finishing a fight. You will see him throwing his jab, you will see him throwing his kicks, and you are like, this is a man with a mechanistically good understanding of his striking. And then he will somehow hurt his opponent, like stings his opponent or like gets them concussed or somehow. And then he will lose all forms of technique, basically, on how to finish a fight. He goes from Ciryl Gane to a girl who's like a teenage girl that's getting robbed by a gunpoint, where they like she's like fighting with their hands flared and like throwing like strikes from straight above, like crazy stuff. Like he had countered perfectly Tuivasa with a beautiful right straight, had him wobbled. And in this position, you're gonna think, look at the position of Ciryl Gane, and what you will be thinking is that a Francis Ngannou overeem type of like left hook is coming. Muscles perfectly tightened, fist facing up, full leverage into the uppercut or the shovel hook. And then you will see the actual fight where he's throwing a Colby Covington strike. And then has the audacity to follow up with this hammer fist. Like, look at him. What the what the fuck is this, Ciryl Gane? Hits him directly on the back of the head too. It's not like to the side, to the chin, nothing. Directly on the back of the neck. Fortunately for him here, Tuivasa was completely hurt. He was not in a position where he can like strike back some manner. But when he wasn't completely wobbled, like completely almost out of it, where like in the beginning of the no, here actually he does throw the weakest fucking shot and then actually dropped him because it's heavyweight and deep means that it's gonna have a bunch of power unlike a Colby Covington strike. But before when this sequence happened, so this was immediately after Tuivasa like knocked down Ciryl Gane, and Ciryl Gane threw the knee and hurt Tuivasa with his body kicks. He will throw down all forms of defense, again, just like Alex Pereira against Adesanya 2, for example, has both the hands completely down, trying to find a right overhand, like a fat right overhand coming from the hips, gets countered clean by Tuivasa and almost wobbled. So if he hurts Alex Pereira not to a crazy um, level where he's completely out of it, even if he's still on the feet, and he just like bomb rushes Alex Pereira. Imagine this thing exactly happening, but it's a left hook from Alex Pereira. He might get chinned if he's not careful with this type of stuff. So Ciryl Gane has absolutely low IQ moments in every fights, basically, and that means these are opportunities for Alex Pereira to take advantage of. And this is an extremely winnable fight for Alex Pereira. I'm just worried there are just too many questions when it comes to both the physical and technical aspects of the fight, like the speed difference, like the movement of Ciryl Gane, and also the physicality of Alex Pereira, like how powerful he's gonna be, how fast he's gonna be, how his cardio is gonna look like, how his strength is gonna look like what happens if Ciryl Gane has Alex Pereira against the cage like he did against Francis Ngannou. If he can do that against Francis Ngannou, he can physically hold absolutely Alex Pereira, but maybe Alex Pereira does some sweeps like he did against Ankalaev. That's also a possibility that we have to consider. So the strength, the speed, everything is like going against Alex Pereira, but he is probably going to be the more powerful fighter in the cage. But as the fight goes longer, that's going to be like also draining. Like Alex Pereira is not as powerful as he is in the first round. He simply isn't. Like if he's, I know he finished Adesanya in the fifth round by finding the perfect left hook in the perfect position, in the perfect timing. Yes, he can knock hurt people if he finds people at the perfect time, but it's gonna be harder to do it as the fight goes longer. He is at his most powerful in the first two rounds. He is like Conor McGregor in that regard. And I'm really, really pulling for Alex Pereira in this fight, and I'm really hoping that he gets the dub against Ciryl Gane, because fuck Ciryl Gane. I do think. I mean, he does. Ciryl Gane seems like a chill person, and if he wasn't like cheating so much, I would actually be a fan of Ciryl Gane. I mean, I would be rooting for Alex Pereira regardless of if I like Ciryl Gane or not. But because he's so much of a cheater, I just like have extra incentive to hate on Ciryl Gane and also root more for Alex Pereira. So I do hope he does get the win. He has his opportunities. He also poses a lot of problems for Ciryl Gane, and I'm just rooting for him, and I hope he looks really good inside the octagon and hopefully more powerful. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video.